Hi, welcome to episode 58 of the podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about what UX research actually is. I've done a couple of episodes where I talk about the process and everything, but then I realized that I actually haven't said what is UX research, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's even take a step back and start with what is research itself. And I'm going to use the definition from Google, which is from Oxford Languages. And it says that research is the systematic investigation into and the study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. And there are many synonyms. We have investigation, testing, exploration, fact-finding, inquiry, experiment, analysis, and so on and so forth. And all of these things make up parts of different kinds of research approaches and things you can do to arrive at establishing facts and reaching new conclusions. Research involves collecting evidence or information, organizing and analyzing that evidence/information, and coming to a conclusion based on your organization and analysis that helps you understand a certain area, a certain topic, a certain group, or whatever better. And in most cases, there are two classifications of research, at least from an academic perspective. There's basic and applied. So basic research is when you're just doing the research to learn things, to understand things, to know what is happening, to establish facts, to reach new conclusions, and so on. While applied research is where you are doing the practice of research to apply it to a certain context, and that is where UX research falls into applied research. So while I personally just enjoy learning things and finding things out and establishing and all of those cool things, in my 9 to 5 and in the work that I do, I have to do research that helps the team do something, that helps the business achieve a goal, that helps people reach something that they want to do, like do it better, get all the facts so that they can do it in a way that helps them meet their goal. And from there, I will pull out my definition of UX research, or how I explain UX research. And that is, it is the process of understanding users, also known as people, and problems by using various observation and feedback collection methods to test hypotheses, assumptions, and solutions, as well as to answer questions and create useful and usable experiences. So let's break up every part of this definition. The first part is understanding people and problems. And what research does is that you are going to learn about a group of people that is defined by you, or a set of problems. And when you are trying to understand these people, you're not just thinking about one thing about them, you're thinking about them as a whole. What do they like? What are their needs? What are their experiences? What are the problems that they have? Why do they have those problems? How are they currently trying to solve those problems? It's not just about what does this person like, right? It's about what do this group of people, or what these people as a group, what do they need? How do they behave? What do they do? What are the things that are constraining them? What motivates them? What are the things that they prefer, that they like? And what are their attitudes towards a specific thing or topic that you're interested in? So everything about the people, why they behave the way they do, and so on. So your one survey that has one question does not necessarily mean that you've done UX research. Understanding the problem side is because there are so many people have many problems, right? And so if you're trying to build a product, you have to pick a specific problem area to solve, and you need to understand where that problem stems from. You need to understand how are people already currently trying to solve that problem for themselves, and you need to understand why those other solutions are not working. Like, what is missing from those solutions that people are still finding issues with. So when you understand all of this big picture, this entire picture of the specific types of people or groups of people and the specific part of the problem, specific problem that they have, then you can build a solution that works. And the second part of the definition is about the methods. So when we talk about methods, broadly, there are two approaches to research: asking approaches and observing approaches. And that is why the definition says observation and feedback collection methods. because when you can either find out things about people by asking them or by seeing them exist and do things, and you see what they do and what they don't do, and then you can always ask questions about what has been done or not done. And with research, with UX research, there are multiple approaches, many of which also come out of academia. So you have interviews, you have focus groups, you have usability testing. These are the common ones that people use mostly, surveys, those kinds of things. And each of them, these methods fall under either observation or asking approaches, or even some approaches fall under both. So most usability testing sessions will not just be you observing people doing things, you also ask them questions. So in that sense, usability testing can fall under both observing and asking approach. A survey is an asking approach, an asking method basically. So yeah, that's like one broad way to think about like research methods. And then the last part of the definition, which is to test hypotheses, assumptions, and solutions, and to answer questions and create usable and useful experiences. Most times when people want to do research, they have some idea in their head. They have something that they think to be true, or something that they think about the world, or something that they want to create. And what research does is they can tease out the assumptions they have about the people that they want to solve this problem for, or the assumptions they have about the problem itself, and document all of those assumptions, document their hypothesis about if we do this, then this will happen, or this influences that, or this correlates with that, or this solution that we build will solve this problem, or this is what people need. So you have all of those things at the beginning. You also have questions like, how do people do this, or what do people like about that? Those are kind of the questions and the assumptions and those things. That's where all of those things fall in. And that is what then helps you decide what approach do I need to use and who do I need to quote unquote talk to. When I say talk to, I don't mean actually ask questions. I mean just like who are the people that are the participants of this research, or who are the people who, the target audience basically. And how do I talk to them? Which is what method do I use to find the answer to my questions in relation to these people, or to test my hypothesis and my assumptions in relation to these people. And then the final part is so that you can create usable and useful experiences. Since I first created this definition, I have expanded it to go beyond just usable and useful experiences, because it's not just usable and useful to the end user, which I've talked about a bit in previous episodes. It's usable and useful for the business as well. Because if you're well, it depends on what your goal is, right? If you're a non-profit, if you're a business, whatever, or you're just a person who wants to do a fun project that you want people to enjoy, you're not really doing it for profit. The point remains that both the end user and both the creator of the solution or the tool or the product or the service, they both have goals. And so the research process in an applied sense is so that both the end user and the creator of the solution both benefit from the exchange in some way. So the business owner or the person who's creating the product is offering a service or a product to somebody who needs it, creating value for them, and this person may exchange money for that, and then the business is also gaining something. So to recap, how I define UX research is that it's the process of understanding people, aka the users, and problems by using various observation and feedback collection methods to test hypotheses, assumptions, and solutions, as well as to answer questions and create usable and useful experiences that meets the goals of both the business and the end user, or the creator and the user. And recently, I answered a question on how would I explain what I do to a 5-year-old. And so I'm going to share that here. So if I were to explain my work to a 5-year-old, this is what I will say. I help businesses and teams achieve their goals by helping them understand the things about the people they want to serve, that is their audience, like their thoughts, behaviors, needs, motivations, what makes them frustrated, what makes them happy. And I do this by asking people in this audience questions and observing their behavior. So for example, if I'm working with a toy manufacturer, I will do research with kids to understand the kinds of toys they play with, what attracts their attention, what they like, and so on. And I will also observe them playing with toys to see what they do, how they use them, if they're comfortable to use, and so on. I will also talk to their parents to understand things like what they consider when buying different kinds of things, including toys. For example, why they bought the last toy that they bought, how they heard about it, what is important to them, if they want to use the toys with you, or they just want you to play with toys. Then I will take all of that information that I've gathered and use that to help the toy manufacturer make decisions about what toys to make, how to make them, what to include, what to remove, if they need to make different versions of the toy, and even how to market the toy or what further information we need to find out to make a great toy. And in the last episode, I also gave a another analogy about like UX research and how to prioritize. So imagine there are two people you want to buy gifts for. You have a limited budget. One person is near and dear to your heart, like your parent, your partner, your sibling, your friend, your child. And the other person is just maybe someone you don't really know that well, but they're close enough that you want to buy them a gift. Now, you could just buy any gifts, right? You could just give them any gift and spend however much you like. But if you wanted to really like make them feel loved and cared for, you will want to understand, what do they need right now? What things do they like? What do they enjoy? What don't they like? What can they use? And you will use that to make a decision about what gift to buy them. Because if you don't do that, best case scenario, the gift is just okay, it's nice. Worst case scenario, you're giving them a gift that is terrible, maybe because they're allergic to it, they can't use it, they hate the color, they don't like the thing, for whatever reason. It's just a terrible gift. So would you rather do some research, ask good questions to find out what would this person really like that will make them happy because they matter to you, or will you just give them anything? So yeah, bye.